We've just suffered a terrible earthquake. Oh, thank goodness it's over so that we can have family Bible time. It was a year and almost a month ago that we started. Actually, just within a couple of days, it's going to be the anniversary of the Family Bible Time, as it started on YouTube. It started on the 19th of January 2010. We started reading the book of Matthew on the 18th of December 2009. So it's been a year and a month since we started reading the New Testament. We finished the New Testament just before the end of the year. And we're starting over again, but not in a public way, but for this video it is. Going to be reading the book of Matthew chapter 1, but before that I want to give a brief history of the nation of Israel. In the Old Testament and some of the things that occurred last year when I read. In the book of Matthew, there's a breakdown of 14 generations. I mean, in the first chapter of the book of Matthew, there's 14 generations that mentions. There's 3 sets of 14 generations. One of the generations goes from the carrying away into Babylon to the time of Jesus. I wondered what that meant. And I asked a friend of mine, and he told me that it meant that there was a when they were carried away into Babylon, there were no more kings. That was the end of the kings. So when Jesus came, this is why one of the reasons why they were looking for a king, because they didn't have him through those 14 generations.
What about Herod?
He wasn't a Jewish king. So I wondered what, because my question to the fellow was, what was the significance of the carrying away into Babylon? Why is that a division of time? That was his answer. That's a true answer. But in the way that the Lord allowed me to read the Old Testament last year, I found out something even more significant. And I will just express it after I get done explaining a rundown of the Jewish nation. And we'll skip Adam and Eve and all that. Start with Abraham, because that's what it mentions in the beginning of the division of time. Abraham had a son. Do you know whose son he had? Or the son's name?
Isaac.
Yes, Isaac. Who's his brother?
Jacob. Ishmael, half-brother.
Ishmael, yes, Ishmael. I also know, this is another thing I learned last year, when we say the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, okay, I'm giving to the next generation, why is it stated that way? They always say in the Bible, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Show the true line was through Isaac and Ishmael.
Yes, the true line was through Isaac. It carried on with Jacob. So it wasn't Ishmael, which some people believe. So Abraham had Isaac. Who did Isaac have?
Jacob.
Yes, I just told you. So Jacob. And then who was his brother?
Esau.
Yes, Esau. Remember the whole thing with selling the birthright and all that?
Mm-hmm.
So Jacob, and then who did Jacob have? Who's his son?
He had the 12.
Yeah, Joseph.
Yep, Joseph.
Yeah, Judah.
And 12. And 12 all together. Now here's where it becomes interesting, okay? Joseph wasn't a tribe. There wasn't a tribe of Joseph. Remember how that happened? Ephraim and Manasseh. Okay, so that makes 13. Here's what I don't know. I don't remember. Who was the missing tribe? It's 12 tribes. One was Ephraim and Manasseh. Who was the missing tribe? I don't know, but I think it was Benjamin. But anyways, it doesn't matter.
There was a tribe of Benjamin, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Something happened. I don't remember.
Maybe they combined.
What?
Maybe 2 combined.
Like Ephraim and Manasseh.
I don't know. I should know, but maybe this time I'm reading through. But here's how it happened anyway. So I was reading along, and well, no, I'm not there yet. Okay, we got Moses, and the children of Israel. And how many years they were in bondage, right? Oh, we skipped Joseph. Joseph, really important. Yeah, the whole deal with Joseph. So then it turns out that, he gets taken into Egypt, and that was all for a reason. So anyways, okay, they're in Egypt. They're there for how long?
400.
Yes, 400 years. No, 400 years. So, you know how long the King James Bible's been around? Not the yes, 400 years. Just interesting. Okay, but there was 400 years, and then Moses came along. Moses got him out, went through the desert, all that, 40 years. He didn't take them into the promised land. You know why?
Because they were bad.
Because he smoked when he...
Yes, he smoked the rock, but you know what else? He couldn't take them into the promised land because he would be Israel's Messiah.
Oh,
He
'cause
would be
was too
regarded,
good.
he's already regarded so highly with the children of Israel that he would be like the Messiah. So, who took him into the promised land? Joshua. You know what Joshua's name is?
Joshua.
Yeshua.
Yes, Yeshua. It's the same name as Jesus. It means salvation.
So why did they consider him the Messiah?
Because
Because he
he
wasn't-
that's all he did.
Yeah, really. I mean, there was a lot of battles and stuff that were fought, you know, and Joshua was a great man also. But, okay, so now we go on quickly. We must. Okay, so here's what else. Now, here's the thing, too. What makes this really important, it shows in Acts 7, because this is what Stephen preached. They questioned his preaching, and they brought him before the council. This is all he expressed was the history of the nation of Israel. So, okay, so now I got to fast forward quick. So, they went to the promised land, and then they end up having the kings. Saul was the king who was the guy who started, but then his heart turned away from the Lord, and the Lord brought along David. Okay, so then David's going along, and sins with Bathsheba. Through that, ends up getting Salmon. Solomon was born through that, and when David dies, Solomon gets the kingdom. Solomon was granted wisdom beyond all men, but he had the heart of David to a degree, but not as David his father, and his heart was stolen away by all the wives that he had. God was displeased. He rent the kingdom from Solomon, but he preserved Judah for the sake of David. Judah was divided out of the children of Israel. The children of Israel, the 11 tribes, ended up, one of their kings was Ahaz. He bought Samaria, the mountain of Samaria. The children of Israel, the 11 tribes, intermingled with other nations, watered down the Jewish nation as far as the 11 tribes. Judah remained pure, ended up in Jerusalem. That was where Solomon had the temple built, over Mount Moriah, which was where Abraham went to offer Isaac. When Jesus came, okay, wait a minute, I gotta go back to, when I was reading the Old Testament this last year, when I got done with 2 Chronicles, which is, after the Kings, somebody had asked me to read Jeremiah. So I had to skip Ezra, Nehemiah, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Isaiah, the Song of Solomon, Ecclesiastes, but then I went to Jeremiah. I wondered if it would be appropriate to skip all those books, because somebody asked me to read Jeremiah next. I did. 2 Chronicles ends with 2 references to Jeremiah. It was amazing. I skipped all those books, and it was still perfect. I went back and read Ezra. Ezra talks about Jeremiah. All those books, Psalms, Proverbs, not Job, but Song of Solomon, Ecclesiastes, written by David and Solomon. Here's the deal. Okay, this is where I am. This. Up to Chronicles, everything else with exception of Psalms and this and that and the other, everything is about the carrying away into Babylon. I wondered what was the significance of the carrying away into Babylon. It's a huge chunk of the Bible. It's really important. It's amazing. So now I'll read. The book of the generation of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Abraham begat Isaac, and Isaac begat Jacob, and Jacob begat Judas and his brethren. And Judas begat Phares and Zara of Thamar, and Phares begat Esrom, and Esrom begat Aram, And Aram begat Aminadab, and Aminadab begat Naasson, Naasson begat Salmon, Salmon begat Boaz of Rachab, and Boaz begat Obed of Ruth, and Obed begat Jesse, and Jesse begat David, the king of David, and David the king begat Solomon, of her that had been the wife of Urias. And Solomon begat Roboam, and Roboam begat Abia, and Abia begat Asa, and Asa begat Josaphat, and Jehoshaphat begat Joram, and Joram begat Ozias, and Ozias begat Jotham, and Jotham begat Achaz, and Achaz begat Ezekias, and Ezekias begat Manasseh, and Manasseh begat Ammon, and Ammon begat Josias, and Josias begat Jeconias, and his brethren, about the time they were carried away into Babylon. And after they were brought to Babylon, Jeconias begat Salathiel, and Salathiel begat Zerubbabel, and Zerubbabel begat Abiad, and Abiad begat Eliakim, and Eliakim begat Azor, and Azor begat Sadoc, and Sadoc begat Achim, and Achim begat Eliud, and Eliud begat Eleazar, and Eleazar begat Matan, and Matan begat Jacob. Jacob begat Joseph, the husband of Mary, of whom was born Jesus, who is called Christ. So the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations, and from David unto the carrying away unto Babylon are 14 generations, and from the carrying away to Babylon unto Christ are 14 generations. Jesus was also the 77th name. Now the birth of Jesus Christ was on this wise. When as his mother Mary was espoused to Joseph, before they came together, she was found with child of the Holy Ghost. Then Joseph, her husband, being a just man, and not willing to make her a public example, was minded to put her away privily. But while he thought on these things, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a dream, saying, Joseph, thou son of David, fear not to take unto thee Mary thy wife, for that which is conceived in her is of the Holy Ghost. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus, for he shall save his people from their sins. Now all this was done, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, Behold, a virgin shall be with child, and shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which being interpreted is, God with us. Then Joseph, being raised from sleep, did as the angel of the Lord had bidden him, and took unto him his wife, and knew her not, till she had brought forth her firstborn son, and he called his name Jesus. For he shall be called Jesus, Yeshua, salvation, for he shall save his people from their sins.